shelter, and she was making some nervous noises. And she is an animal ambassador over at Iams Nature Center. She's been there since 2006. She was hit by a car in North Carolina while she was eating some roadkill and ended up at the American Eagle Foundation. Years ago, American Eagle Foundation used to rehab raptors. So she was rehabbed there. She did fully heal, but in the time she was there, she had imprinted. So imprinting is when a ruminant animal will start associating humans with comfort and food. And vultures are pretty easy to imprint because, especially turkey vultures, because they have strong familial bonds. So she became imprinted and associates people with comfort, so she couldn't be released. And walk up to the wrong person, they're not going to understand why she's approaching. So she has been hanging out at Imes, and I've been working with her for about 8 years. And about 3 years ago, when our animal care coordinator moved on to a different job, I was chosen as her as her next friend. So we have a good trusting relationship. We work well together. Every spring, she'll do a mating display to me.
Again, I was with Ives for years. I was there when Zoey arrived. And Zoey, and we learned early from other people that hi Zoe, had vultures that they tend to imprint on one person. And at Imes, over those 20 years, it was always a female that worked there, so they're smart. And but and those females, Pam, Louise, Mabry, would take Zoe around the front of the building, the plaza of the building, and Zoe was fine with that. But Michelle was the first to say, "Hey, let's get Zoe out into the world." So this is a major deal. I'm thrilled to see this. I have fed Zoe, and but I had a, but anyway, she never imprinted on me enough to, and I've had her on the glove inside her enclosure, but she wouldn't let me leave the enclosure. One reason that you need to be very quiet, because I forgot to mention this earlier, her defense, if she gets scared, is to puke on you. Because they tend to eat a lot, and what they don't swallow, they store in her crop. And so if she gets upset, and I've seen that, and I saw that heading at me at one point. I said, okay, no, I don't need to be puked on. Anyway.
I say the front 2 rows here in the splash zone. we did fast her yesterday just in case, because it's not a response she controls, much like the possums. It's an adrenaline rush that just causes her to do that. She doesn't consciously do it. It's just when she gets scared enough, she'll do it. She's doing really well. Because of her imprints, so she approaches people. She, thinks people as other vultures. And she's, not everyone's a big vulture fan.
If you've been here for Lisa Thomason, she's got a barn owl, and that barn owl was imprinted. It was illegally taken from its nest as a youngster, and which is illegal. And somebody in East Tennessee was raising it like a pet, and so Thistle, that's the bird's name, imprinted, and so TWRA came knocking on the door, and it could not be released as wild. Zoe couldn't be released as wild. She would try to probably zone in on Imes and turn up right in front of her enclosure. But the barn owl was imprinted. Now the barn owl's imprinted on Lisa, which just means they're comfortable with getting pet. Any quiet questions?
How much does Zoe weigh?
She's about 4 pounds.
Oh.
That's the incredible thing.
The extra.
The incredible thing, these massive, our local bald eagle weighs 9 pounds. A local retail hawk weighs 3 pounds. So they look massive and it looks like they're heavy. It looks like they're very heavy, but no.
But when they're teetering on your hand, they're pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's the other thing about becoming a handler like I was at I. You got to get used to holding your hand like this with 3 to 6 pounds on it. Any other questions? Yes.
You may have said, how old is she and how long will she live?
She's 20. I mean, we know she's 20 because we don't know how old she was before, do we?
She's 28 now.
She's 28. She's ready for college.
And their
Any oth-
their lifespan? How long?
Oh, do we know the lifespan? That I don't know.
General lifespan is 25 years, but in
That-
captivity, it can go a lot longer. American Eagle has a 40-year-old, so with good care, we don't know.
Because they're well taken care of, they get veterinary care 3 or 4 times a year. They're fed daily. So most birds of prey like that live much longer lives in captivity. They've given up some freedom, but they have constant food. One of the interesting story about Tiger, who recently did pass away from old age. Some people came into Imes late one night and cut away. They felt so sorry that bird was in captivity. They cut away. A tiger could have flown away, but tiger, I'm not going anywhere. They bring me food every day. So once they've been printed and are in captivity, they're well cared for, and they don't really want to go out into the world. Any other? Yes, I do.
So they hang out together a lot, right? They love a big group of them.
Yeah.
I've seen, one time I saw on the side of the road, there must have been all of, but I don't know if they were
Yeah,
that kind of black.
yeah, they have a strong family bond, but they stay together. Even Lisa said that she had a vulture she had in rehab, and the family showed up and sat around her property the entire time that vulture was in rehab.
Yeah, one way you can tell them apart, because when they're flying overhead, can't see the head. You can't see that color. Pay attention, if Zoe lifts her wings, all the secondary feathers are white or very light in color. So that's how, if you're driving down the interstate and you're watching a vulture, if this is light, you know it's a turkey vulture. Whereas the black vulture has white spots around the base of the primary feathers. And you will more than likely see, like Greenville Gull, more than likely it's going to be a turkey vulture. But we have both.
Question. How can you keep Zoe from getting nervous when you probably have to put her in a vehicle?
She's done really well. We've done a lot of work of training her and practicing. It took me months to prepare her to get ready for that, just going on short walks outside the enclosure, practicing putting her in the in the travel carrier. We did get a new travel carrier. We found out she likes being able to see, and that makes sense. She's a raptor. She can see really far. She wants to be able to see where she is, and she prefers that carrier. But she does really well.
Do you think she realizes that Tiger's gone? Would she smell him? Does she miss Tiger?
She hasn't shown. They've always kind of been indifferent to each other. She's probably noticed she hasn't heard Tiger as much, and you probably can't smell Tiger over there. But they weren't really. It looked like they were connected in there. They were housed separately, so they weren't in contact with each other. They weren't bonded at all.
What kind of noise do they make? Do they make a noise, a call?
They don't have vocal cords, so the best she can do is like a little grunt. She made a little bit of one. I don't know if the front row heard when she saw the pinky. She made a little bit of a grunt noise. That's about all they can muster.
They're good grunters, yeah.
Yeah, but she grunts a lot when she's happy.
Like I do.
Do they remember people other than the person they're imprinted on? Like, she keeps watching you.
I was saying that too. She keeps looking at Lynn when you talk, so I think she remembers Lynn.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's imprinted because I did feed her occasionally. So, and she recognizes my voice.
That's,
So I think she says, "Where you been?" But anyway, I'm retired, so. But she does remember. Tiger remembered when I go back and visit her, and the barred owl we had there, Stay Puft, would remember me very well. And so they remember. Yes, sir.
What's their general diet in captivity and how much do they eat? So we buy frozen feeder rats, and so she gets 2 rats a day, 6 times a week. We have 1 fasting day to help her digestive system kind of settle and sort itself out. Animals in the wild don't get to eat every day, so a fasting day always is a good idea. So this is good.
Any other questions? Yo.
It's more of a comment. We had a dead skunk in front of our house, so we called TWRA to see if they could remove it. And they sent 2 vultures. And that one, I know one of them grabbed the skunk and took it over, and it was still in the road, but it was under a tree where it was in the shade. And the other vulture sat under the tree while the first one ripped it up and got pieces of it. And then he moved back and she went in and ate. It was so cool to watch.
What's the song, Dave? Skunk in the middle of the road? Yeah, skunks get hit too. You can smell. But anyway, thank goodness for vultures. That's their job, is to clean up all our mess.
Have you talked about all their adaptations for how clean they are?
Oh, you do that.
I have another question. How do they keep cool?
Oh, yeah. So, they have uric acid in their urine, so they will actually poop on their legs to help keep cool. But uric acid is the same thing that's in hand sanitizer, so they'll also do that to clean their feet off after they've been inside a carcass. It keeps them really clean. Also, that bald head, not having any feathers on it, helps keep them clean because they gotta dive down into gross stuff. Birds aren't very good at keeping their heads clean, so having it bald helps out. And you can also see straight through her nose. So she doesn't get any gore in her nose. And that helps her to smell up to 1.5 miles away. It just flows through when she's going through the air. And another great thing is their stomach acid will kill most diseases. Their stomach acid has a pH that's equal to that of battery acid. So when they're eating carrion that may have died from rabies, botulism, distemper, anything like that, that disease will die inside of them. And found in various countries where the vulture populations are much lower, they're seeing an uptick in rabies.
Any other questions? Over here.
Because you said hunting a raptor, so vultures are considered rappers even though they don't actually go kill their own prey.
Yeah, so birds of prey are carnivorous birds.
Okay.
And you know, if they want to, if they're hungry enough, they may chase something down. I've seen her go after some butterflies.
She was aiming for a foot.
Yeah.
Did everyone get photos?
You can also see she constantly is preening herself, even though she's trying to be aware. She's constantly keeping herself clean.
What about enrichment? What does she do for fun?
For enrichment, one of her favorite things is, I call it lazy motherhood. I pick up one of those Costco chickens for my family, and I'll bring her the carcass, and she picks off everything that we don't get off of it. We also like to make her toys with newspaper tubes. She's got some Kongs, like what dogs have that we hide food in. Little dog balls that have a lot of holes in them. She does love to play. Good house. When I go in with her, she will go and grab one of her toys and show it off to me. One of her favorite things over the winter was she had a rabbit pelt. She loved carrying the rabbit pelt around. I think a while back I posted a video on the I'm social media where she had this cat ball with a jingle ball. And she'd pick it up with her beak and throw it up and it would roll down her back, and she loved doing that over and over again. So they're very smart and very curious, and they do need a lot of enrichment. And that Rouse there was just showing she's getting comfortable. She's like, okay, we're here. This is what's happening.
You think there'd be a lot of them in rehab because of the fact that they are on the side of the road, in the road, and could be.
Yeah, it does happen a lot. I think they're starting to adapt. Like, one thing people will notice if they come and it's during a feeding at IMS, she eats very fast. So, she can have a rat done in like 15 seconds. And I feel like that's an adaptation that vultures have come up with because they get a lot of their food out of the road.
Zoe is so comfortable, she's decided to preen, which means she's cleaning up. You can see what birds do all day long. They're just preening their feathers, cleaning anything off of it. And now she's preening the back of her head.
So they can digest bones and organs and everything of what they eat, or do they leave the bones behind?
They are, she'll leave big bones behind, but she'll take in the little bones and the fur, and she makes pellets like an owl does.
Yeah, her stomach acid. The owls that you've seen, once they've eaten, they regurgitate a pellet, which is everything they cannot digest, like a mouse, tiny bones and fur. But vultures, most of that goes straight through. She's so comfortable, she's bragging. She says, I like this.
They tend to nest more on the ground than up in trees. A lot of times people will find baby vultures at the base of trees and call rehab because they're like, oh, an abandoned bird. But no, vultures don't really nest up in trees. You'll see them sitting up there to look around and everything, but they prefer to nest down at the bottom.
Thank you, I misspoke earlier. Well, it happens.
Do they have enemies? I mean, if their babies are on the ground, is there something that comes after them?
I would suspect they're very, very protected by their moms. And maybe dads. We do a talk here in 2 months about good dads, bad dads in the bird world. Some dads are great, some dads do nothing. Average.
How about their mating? Do they mate for life, or are they?
Yeah, they mate for life.
Because they're hanging out in a small group together.
So if they were to lose their spouse, would they choose another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
They mourn a while,
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes.
And we've seen that kind of happen with the staff changes over at IMS too.
The mourning part? Do they mourn? Like when?
Not really.
There are some species we're now knowing, like the corvids, and again, I mentioned ravens, crows, magpies, jays, they mourn. And there's videos on YouTube I forget which one of those was laying dead, and its flock mates came down and mourned it and petted it and rubbed their bills on it. So some do, and that's all the corvids. Again, those 4 in this country: jays, magpies, ravens, and crows. And so there's strong bonds there, and they do mourn. Oddly, and I've spoken about this a lot, I don't remember I did it here, Carolina parakeets, which was once the most gorgeous bird in our sky, just covered with color, and the only native parrot, were all shot, principally for their feathers. But if one of the Carolina parakeets was shot and was laying dead on the ground, its flock mates would come to comfort it, and the shooter would just wipe them all out. So it'd be a pile of dead Carolina parakeets. Zoe, you didn't need to worry about that.
So do they stay in family groups like crows?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's related. So when they raise the young, is it just the pair that does it?
I'm sorry.
You would know that better. When they raise the young, is it just the pair or is it the whole
Like crows? Is it?
flock? That's something I don't know.
I suspect they have a strong bond to mom, but I suspect, and again, this is very similar to ravens. Strong bond to mom, but the others watch over. Would be, I suspect, because if parent birds are killed, somehow other birds of the same species will adopt and take care of them.
What are you feeding right now?
Pygmy mice.
Oh.
Yum yum.
They're like gummy bears to her. I gotta slow it down. I'm slowing it down. Because the last talk, I fed them a little fast and then they all came right back up.
Which is a show in itself.
And on cue, right when I was talking about the vomiting.
Well, I haven't, you've been feeding along the way, your pinkies? Okay.
Yeah.
Do the males and females look the same?
They do. Yeah. They look exactly the same.
Can you bring Zoe down the front aisle here so some of us in the back can get a better look?
Yeah, just be aware once I move, she might try to take off. Just stay low in case that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Look at her wings, look at her wings, right underneath. Like,
They shouldn't be doing
remember,
that.
she's always a bit nervous.
What? They shouldn't be doing that.
It's a good way to show off that because she doesn't hunt live prey, she has very heavy wings, whereas an owl's wings are very light. So you can really feel that air when she takes off, whereas an owl would be completely silent and you wouldn't feel any air.
She's beautiful.
And then she's showing off those feathers Lynn was talking about. The white goes all the way down.
And again, remember, this is the first time in 20 years she's been indoors with this many people. So she's trying to figure it all out. But she's done incredibly well. She's very used to Michelle. Michelle's her comfort. Any other questions, answers?
Good job.
Are you ever called on by the body farm?
You said body farm. What was the question?
For forensic research or anything like that? Sorry, at the UT body farm,
Uh-huh.
I work at UT and that's where my parking place is, it's right back there, and occasionally,
Vulture slapping over?
oh, they're landing, flapping and.
I live
So-
near there, so that makes
Yeah,
complete
so
sense. Well,
I-
that's part of what the body farm is
Well,
for.
I wondered if they called you all to ask,
So they can
any-
figure out, well, how we,
well, I mean, yeah, like, any part of, for their research or anything like that about the habits, and I'm sure we're delicious, so.
So when
anyway,
they eat
Dr.
it,
Bass
they
started
eat
the
it
body
first?
farm over near UT Hospital and close to where I live. And so any of us, I don't know, are they still, if they're, I've heard they've got so many commitments for, you can leave in your will, I wanna go to the body farm, and you will be laid out and observed to see if a vulture finds you or what happens to a human and how it all does. It's all part of science. And vultures would obviously be flying over it. I would be fine if I was able to allow vulture. Not now, Zoe, but give me 2 or 3 more years.
Does she understand any words that you use with her?
Yeah, so, we have her trained to do, to go to a perch. When we say perch, she knows where to go there. She knows step up, to step up onto the glove. Whether she wants to follow them or not, is up to her. But, yeah, we work on that. She knows back up because, in November, she gets very hangry, because, winter is coming, so she wants to bulk up. She gets a little overexcited and she'll jump on the door and flap, so we taught back up to get up off the door.
It was interesting, she's done very well. As Michelle started to move deeper into the group, Zoe got very nervous.
Is that why when she was holding her wings up like that, is that a sign of her being nervous or scared?
Yeah, so, when she's nervous, she'll put her wings out to look bigger. Sometimes when she gets new toys she's not sure of, she'll walk around it in a circle with one wing partially up to try to like protect herself from the new scary thing. And then also that heraldic pose, you see them do the wings out. They'll do that for sunning, but she'll also show that when she knows I'm coming in for like a checkup or something, she doesn't want to let me know, no, don't mess with me today. So it's a little bit of both.
How many hours a day do they sleep?
I'm never there at night, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
How many hours a day do they sleep?
Birds, and I'm trying to, generally, birds sleep half a brain at a time. A wild bird can always become a victim. So they have the wonderful ability to sleep left side and right side is look. So I'm not 100% sure vultures are the same. I would be surprised if they're not. But it was even a wild vulture to go fall asleep for 8 hours would be dangerous because they're out and exposed. So most birds do. If you're out, even your backyard birds, when you're feeding birds and you look around up on a branch, there may be a mourning dove sitting up there. He's taking a nap. Wouldn't that be great? You can take a nap half a brain at a time, but still be aware of what's going on around you. Any other questions, answers?
We should let Zoe go.
Mhm.
She did good, we should let her go.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you. I think we're wrapping a little early. That was me. We had no idea how long Zoe would be comfortable. We didn't.